Hello YouTube, this is Redhead Takes back again with another video. Sorry about yesterday's video. I put that up about the 7 teams for the NFC playoffs and it was terrible. Or at least the voice was really bad. The audio was terrible. So I deleted that because obvious reasons. And I had more computer issues, so I have a newer computer now. My old computer died, so should be back to a regular schedule again, hopefully this time. But hope you all have been waiting for this. As always, you can hit the subscribe button if you like what I'm doing here. Remember to hit the like button, comment, and share it around with all your friends. Make sure you hit the bell notification twice so that you can get all my video uploads. So, after all, let's get into the video. So, number one overall seed again for the third straight year in a row, Green Bay Packers. I know it's probably a homer take, but honestly, I don't see any other reason why who else would be there, just because it's still Aaron Rodgers at the top of his game, and probably be back for a, who knows, he could be back for a possible third MVP nomination, but a lot has been made up about the loss of Davante Adams, which shouldn't be understated at any moment just because it'll be hard to replace that kind of production, but to make it seem like the Packers don't have anybody, but it's just ludicrous. As long as you have Rodgers, you can make any wide receiver look really good. I mean, you still got Sammy Watkins, who is looking really good through training camp. You have unproven Allen Lazard, who looks like they have a big year. Old reliable Randall Cobb, and a couple of rookies like Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. Hopefully he'll show what he had during draft workouts. Hopefully he's recovered from his injury and should be back for week 1. And their defense is just going to be a top 5 defense again. Probably top 10 just to be on the safe side, but they'll be fine. The manager knows Darius, but they played without him all last year for the most part. Jair Alexander is back. Rashawn Gary looks to have a big year in sacks. I think he can easily do 10 plus sacks. Kenny Pickett in the middle. Devontae Wyatt should really help in there along with Jerron Reed. And then Quay Walker should find his spot in the inside linebacker position. Cornerbacks are great. Safeties are good. Linebackers, the strongest they've been in a while. And yeah, not really a lot to say about the Packers, except they should be great. Not the most difficult schedule too, so that helps. And they're still the kings of the North. Sorry, Vikings, Bears, and Lions fans, but you have to beat the king to unseat the king. So, to number 2, we have the LA Rams. I went back and forth between them and Tampa Bay, but I just think top to bottom, LA is a better team, and their quarterback is a little younger. So Stafford, he's had that elbow injury nagging him all year. From what I've heard, he will be ready to go week 1. So that's good, but it sounds like it could be a lingering issue all year. They may just miss practices some weeks, but he should be great, especially if you're a fantasy player and you've been watching him drop in the rankings because of his elbow injury. Should be a great late round steal. Definitely pick him up if you want. And then, I mean, the running backs are a little bit of a mess, but their offensive line should still be good. And then they still have Cooper Kupp, of course. Should see a little bit of a regression, honestly. I mean, you can't expect him to post back-to-back seasons like that. And then Allen Robinson finally free from the chains of Chicago. And then we have Van Jefferson should get in there. And who knows, maybe they sign Odell Beckham Jr. later in the year. But honestly, I don't think OBJ plays at all this year, just considering his age. And this is his second ACL injury. Probably be a longer recovery time. And their defense is still going to be great. didn't really see any regression in their defense. Sure, Von Miller's gone, but they'll be able to weather that just fine. They again are proving that it is possible to sell your whole draft future for right now because they won the Super Bowl last year. But I like them to continue to do well, being second place again, second overall seed, I should say. And then next we go to the Buccaneers, of course. Unfortunately, Tom Brady decided he had to come back again, make it all about him again, because he's the most narcissistic person in the NFL. And I know you're probably all saying that's Aaron Rodgers, but it's Tom Brady for sure. Everybody sees him as this great guy, but I don't think he's a very great guy from some of his past transgressions. I don't think he's a good guy at all. So to get to the team, Leonard Fournette should be fine. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. See what Julio Jones has. Russell Gage should be great at wide receiver again. Offensive line is going to be a little of a mess since they lost Ali Marpet and Alex Kappa. And Ryan Jensen probably won't be back till late in the year, so that's a big loss. So there's 3 offensive linemen that are different than last year. So we'll see what happens there. And I mean, they still have Tristan Wirtz, so be some stability on the left-hand side of the line. And then their defense should still be all world. I mean, they haven't really lost much on the defense. Their defense still going to be a top 5 defense in the league. Especially since with the division they play in. But yeah, Tampa Bay should be the 3rd overall seed. I keep expecting Tom Brady to regress, and maybe this is the year. He's 45. It's been long overdue for him to finally regress. And honestly, it could be. Especially with that offensive line, he's going to be under assault a lot. So we'll just have to wait and see. And next we have the 4th overall seed, Philadelphia Eagles, looking to repeat as NFC East champions. Their offensive line should be arguably the best in the league. Lots of running backs to throw out there. Wide receivers should be better just because of A.J. Brown being there. Devontae Smith probably going to go off this year. And some others. And Dallas Goedert at tight end, of course. And their defense looks to be better, I think. Should be a pretty good defense. I think overall, when it comes to being said and done, the Eagles will sink or swim by Jalen Hurts. And to be honest, I don't think Jalen Hurts throws a great football. I don't think it's a very good quarterback. He's simply talked about as good because he can run. That's it. Because honestly, I don't see him throwing good footballs. It'll be incumbent on him to take advantage of the wide receivers that he has now. A.J. Brown should help a lot, but it's still incumbent on him to find wide receivers the ball. And like I said, doesn't throw a great football. But they should beat out the Cowboys for the division crown just because Dallas is a mess. Their offensive line is a mess. And it's still the Cowboys. So, suck it, Cowboy fans. And then we have the Saints, number 5. They should be back in the playoffs again for the first time in a couple of years. And they will... Jameis Winston should be back. He may take him a little bit to get into the game flow since he's coming off that ACL injury, but he should be doing pretty good by the end of the year. And then Alvin Kamara, who still theoretically could be suspended at some point this year. We don't know how likely that is, but it is a possibility. And then offensive line is a little bit of a mess with Ramczyk injured, and also Trevor Penning being out probably till around November time, so we'll have to see how that turns out. I think their offensive line should still be pretty decent for the most part. It's not going to be a total wreck like the Cowboys is. And then we have their defense is, again, another top 5 defense in the NFL. And their defense is just amazing. And again, they have hopefully for wide receiver, Chris Olave really shows up this year. Hopefully Michael Thomas shows anything that he has left from a couple years ago when he had that great season. And yeah, I like the Saints to come back. They could theoretically win their division, so that this ranking might change by the playoff time. I think it's all dependent on how long or how well that offensive line holds up, because otherwise they're just a solid team. Next we have the 49ers should make it. Hopefully, for their sake, Kittle comes back with anything that he had a couple years ago, and their running back should be great. Offensive line should be better, and Deebo Samuel should be good this year, maybe regress a little bit. Brandon Ayuk looks to be a favorite target of Trey Lance and the others out there. Defense should be good. Not much to be said there, honestly. And again, like the Eagles, it'll all come down to Trey Lance. It's really not shining great on Trey Lance as a quarterback because of the fact that they kept Jimmy Garoppolo. So that's probably not a good confidence booster for Trey Lance. The fact that they had to keep him shows that they're not totally confident in Trey Lance being the full-time quarterback. So, and like Jalen Hurts, Trey Lance, I don't think throws great either. Another quarterback that's based all on his ability to escape the pocket and make a deep ball throw. And he has the tools. He can definitely be a good quarterback. I just don't think he is right now. He may never reach his full potential. But honestly, I think the 49ers will find out that they reached on him. But it remains to be seen. Still has all the talent and potential in the world. So it'll all come down to him. And maybe if they have to bring in Jimmy Garoppolo, then that might be a really bad situation for them. And finally, we have the 7th and final seed. And I begrudgingly picked the Minnesota Vikings just because there's nobody else left in the NFC that I would figure can make it, to be honest. And they're improved, I think. Defensive line should be better. Offensive line should be somewhat improved from last year. Some pieces here on defense, although they lost their bestest player of all time, Anthony Barr, who everybody celebrates just because he injured Aaron Rodgers at one time. Other than that, not much to say about his career. And offensively, should be fine. Jefferson looks like they have a great year, one of those Cooper Kupp years like last year. And Dalvin Cook, I think maybe showing signs of breaking down just because the amount of injuries he's had the past couple of years. He's only missed a couple games here and there, but it's the number of injuries that he sustained since he had that ACL injury in the first year. It's just hamstrings and others, quad injuries, those kind of things are just, they really pile up on a running back, and we'll have to see how much he has left. I'm sure he'll still be a top 10 running back, but there could be concern for the future. And they have old reliable Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, hopefully Irv Smith, for their sake. Irv Smith is able to show what Minnesota thought he would show last year before he tore his ACL. So I'll be looking for him, especially as a late round fantasy pick. For those that play fantasy football, should be a good pick. And the Vikings will go as far as Kirk Cousins can take him. I think he's above average quarterback, but not the type of quarterback that can bring you all the way. It may come to bite me in the ass, but I think the Packers still beat the Vikings twice this year, although it is very possible they could lose both. The Vikings should be somewhat improved, but they could still feasibly miss the playoffs. I picked them to miss the playoffs, but I think just begrudgingly I have to put them in here just as sign of respect, I guess. And also just because there's nobody else left in the NFC that I think that can make it. So that has been it. From number 1 to 7, we have Green Bay, LA, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, New Orleans, San Francisco, and Minnesota. Hope you all enjoyed the video. As always, if you disagree with my opinion, we can hammer it out in the comment section or the other fine social media platforms that I will have in the description. Remember to subscribe, like, and comment. Share this around with your friends. And as always, have a great day and God bless.